Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool. We have started with the chapter metals and non-metals, isn't it? So in our previous video, we have discussed the physical properties of metals and non-metals. And this video, we will discuss about the chemical properties of metals. Okay. And in the last video, as I already told you, the elements in a periodic table were classified into metals and non-metals on the basis of their physical and chemical properties. Okay, so physical properties we discussed, and there are certain exceptions also. Yes or no? So few of the elements which were metals, but they were not showing the properties of metals, isn't it? Say, what were the exceptions we studied? If you can recall, we studied the exception of alkali metals, which were very much soft and can cut it with a knife. Yes, usually all metals have to be hard. That is what the property we studied. But these guys are deviating from the normal property, right? So, like that, many exceptions we have discussed. So, by these exceptions, what we can understand is physical properties alone is not enough to classify the elements into metals and non-metals. Okay, we need chemical properties also. So here, based on the chemical properties as well as the physical properties, scientists have classified the elements into metals and non-metals. Discussed with the physical properties, and now we are with the chemical properties. First, let us discuss the chemical properties of metals. Okay, under that, the first reaction is reaction of metal with air. Air normally contains oxygen. Okay, our metal is going to react with the oxygen of air. Clear, everybody? So that is the reason I specifically mentioned oxygen in a bracket. Okay, so what is the first reaction we are going to discuss? Reaction of metal with air. That means reaction of metals with oxygen. Okay, fine. Try to remember the main sequence here. Whenever a metal reacts with oxygen, you will get a product, metal oxide. What is the product you are getting? Metal oxide. Okay, so metal in combination with oxygen, we call it as metal oxide. And these metal oxides are basic in nature. This is what you need to remember. This is a very important point to be remembered, guys. Okay, so all metal oxides are basic in nature. They behave as bases. Okay, that means when you check their pH or when you check it with a litmus paper, if you check it with a red litmus paper, red converts into blue. Okay, so they are basic in nature. They behave as bases, all metal oxides. Now let us try to write some examples. Okay, so the first example I am going with the examples now. Under that, the first example is a well-known reaction which you have already studied in the first chapter, that is chemical reactions and equations. Okay, do you remember a reaction where copper, which is brown in color, all reacting with oxygen? What did you get, guys? Can you able to recall this reaction? What is the product you get? Metal oxide you are getting here. This is a metal combining with oxygen. So metal oxide you will get. Can you able to write the formula in this case? Copper and oxygen. This is what metal oxide. So after writing this much, check the formula whether it is correct or not with the help of their valencies. Okay, you no need to by heart any reaction. We all know the logic. This is the logic that you have to remember, guys. Whenever a metal combines with oxygen, tell me what is the product that is formed? Metal oxide, and this is basic. So with respect to this reference, you can write any number of examples. Okay, you no need to by heart all the examples which were given in a textbook or the examples which I tell you now. Okay, so you must able to write the product yourself. For that, basics is required, like writing a formula with the help of valency and all. Clear? Fine. So now here copper valency is 2. Oxygen valency is 2. So what is the formula, guys? This 2 goes here, this 2 goes. So Cu2O2, whenever you have a same digit, the digit will get cancelled. Yes or no? So the formula is CuO. And this was black in color. Yes or no? This was the reaction we studied in first chapter also. Clear? So this is the example number 1. Clear? And now we will see the second example. This example also we studied in the first chapter. Very famous reaction. Many times I gave this reaction. Mg can react with oxygen. Literally, Mg can burn with oxygen. And what is the product you will get? MgO, isn't it? Mg valency 2, oxygen valency 2. So the formula is MgO. And this reaction, you have studied this reaction in detail. Yes or no? Mg burns in presence of oxygen, giving a dazzling bright light to give a white color powder called MgO, isn't it? Okay, so this can be an example under this particular heading.
Is how magnesium actually reacts in air. See, he is holding a magnesium piece with a tongs. This is called tongs. Okay, magnesium piece is held with the help of a tong. He is keeping it in a fire. This is what we call Bunsen burner. Okay, available in a chemical laboratories, and it's giving a blue flame. See, this blue flame is actually a high amount of energy than the yellow flame. Okay, so he is holding a magnesium piece in a flame, and see, it's burning with a dazzling bright light. This is what we call dazzling bright light. Okay, so it will burn like this, and a white powder actually falls here at the bottom, and here we get collected with a white powder, and that white powder is nothing but magnesium oxide. Okay, so this is a magnesium burning, in the sense reacting with oxygen with a bright dazzling light, and a magnesium powder will get collected at the bottom. We will call it as magnesium oxide. Okay.
Coming to the third example, we have a metal called Al. Okay, Al in the sense what? Aluminium. Al is what? Aluminium. Okay, so this aluminium also can react with oxygen, giving an oxide, aluminium oxide. So can you able to write the formula, guys? Aluminium, Al, oxide means oxygen. Now write the formula with the help of valency. Valency of aluminium is 3, valency of oxygen is 2. So what is the formula, guys? This 2 goes here and this 3 comes here, right? So what is the formula of aluminium oxide? Al2O3. Okay, and this particular aluminium oxide is not basic. I told you, metal with oxygen, you get a metal oxide, and these metal oxides are basic, I said. So in the first example, copper oxide, what you got is basic only. And magnesium oxide, second example we discussed was with magnesium with oxygen, isn't it? And this MgO is also basic. But here, our aluminium oxide is not basic. It is amphoteric in nature. It is amphoteric in nature. Okay. So what do you mean by a word amphoteric? So normally, amphoteric substances means the substances which can behave as an acid and also as a base. Okay, they have basic character as well as acidic character. Such a compounds we will call it as amphoteric compounds. Okay, so here you must know the meaning of the word amphoteric oxide. Okay, amphoteric oxide. So what do you mean by amphoteric oxide? the oxide which is neither acidic nor basic. And this particular oxides can react with acids as well as bases also to give salt and water. Okay, say for example, in our previous chapter, you know copper oxide. Yes, copper oxide could react with acids. Yes or no? So you studied a reaction called acid reacting with metal oxide. Acid reacting with metal oxide. Okay, what was the product you got? Salt plus water you have got. Okay, so why is this acid reacting with metal oxide? Because metal oxides are basic in nature. Clear everybody? The reaction what we have studied in the previous chapter, I am explaining the reason for that. Acid reacting with metal oxide. Why this guy acid is reacting with the metal oxide? Because metal oxides are basic in nature. Yes or no? So whenever an acid reacts with a base, you get salt and water, no? So this is just like a base. It is basic in nature. That is the reason you are getting a product, salt and water. Okay, clear everybody? So all these metal oxides, whichever are basic in nature, no, they can react with acid to give salt and water. Okay, and now coming to this particular oxide, I said this is not basic. It has basic character also and it has acidic character also, I said. That is the reason it can react, this particular amphoteric oxide can react with acids also and bases also. Okay, to give what? To give salt and water. Clear everybody? It's a very important point that you have to remember for exam point of view. Okay, so try to write the definition first. Amphoteric oxides are those oxides which are neither acidic nor basic. Okay, so they are not completely basic, they are not completely acidic also. They have both acidic character as well as basic character actually. That is the reason. Or definition can be this, or one more definition also I can write for this. Those oxides which can react with both acids and bases. Both acids and bases to give what? What is the product it will give? To give salt and water. To give salt and water. Okay. See, these guys, because they are basic in nature, they can only react with acids. Can they react with a base? One base can react with a base or what? Definitely no. Okay. Because they are basic, they can only react with acid. They cannot react with base. Okay. But this guy, this amphoteric oxide, since it is not basic, it is not completely acidic also. It has both characters actually. 50% acidic character it has, 50% basic character it has. Okay. Since it has little amount of acidic character, it is reacting with a base. Since it has little amount of basic character, it is reacting with acids. To give what products? To give salt and water. Okay. So this is about amphoteric oxide. Okay. Either of the definition you can write when asked in exam. You can write either this definition or this definition. Okay. So now we got to know amphoteric oxides are the oxides which can react with both acid as well as bases to give salt and water. Now we will see the example. Okay. So our aluminium oxide reacts with HCl. This is an acid. And can you be able to predict what is the product you get? Salt and water. What salt you will get? Al is there, Cl is there, right? So AlCl3 is the salt you will get and water. Okay. So this is how it reacts with acid. And how do you balance the reaction? How do you balance Al2? Right? 2 is there. So we'll be putting 2 here. So 2 3s are 6 Cls are there here, only 1 Cl. So we'll put 6. Now 6 hydrogens here, only 2 hydrogens. So we'll put 3. Okay? Balanced equations you have to write. Clear? Fine. And now Al2O3 reacting with a base. What is the best example for base? NaOH. Isn't it? So what is the product you will get? Here you cannot predict the product easily. You should remember the product. Here you will get sodium aluminate as a salt. NaAlO2. This is called sodium aluminate. Sodium aluminate plus water as the byproduct. Okay. And how do you balance this? Balancing this. Okay. 2 and 2. So these two reactions are very, very, very important. Okay. So they'll ask you in an exam, what are amphoteric oxides and how do amphoteric oxide react with acid and how do amphoteric oxide react with a base, they'll ask. Okay. So very, 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 very important question, guys. You have to remember. They'll ask you what is the example for amphoteric oxide. What is the example? Al2O3. Okay. You have another examples also. You have examples like ZnO. ZnO is also one more example. Try to remember. Lead oxide is another example. Okay. ZnO is an example. Al2O3 is an example. At least try to remember 2 examples. This is compulsory because these reactions they might ask you in the exam. Okay. Along with this, try to remember one more example, ZnO. Clear everybody? Okay. Concept is very simple. Whenever metals react with oxygen, you will get metal oxide. The nature of metal oxide is actually basic. Okay. But we have a special guy who is that aluminium. Aluminium oxide is not basic. Okay. Its nature is amphoteric. It is not completely base. It is not completely acidic. Both character it will have in it. Okay. So that is the reason that particular guy can react with both acid and base. Remaining all metal oxides can only react with acids. They cannot react with bases because they are already basic in nature. One base cannot react with another base. One acid cannot react with another acid. Remember this. Since they are basic in nature, they can only react with acids to give salt and water. But this guy, since it has both basic nature as well as acidic nature, it can react with acids and bases respectively. Okay, to give salt and water. Fine. But here in this case, all metals does not react in the same way. Few metals react very, very violently. Few metals does not react with oxygen at all. Okay, and few metals react with high difficulty. Okay, we will discuss about that. So first and important point, remember one thing, whatever points I tell it under note is very, very, very important. Okay, so the moment I say note, it is very important. Say I told you all elements does not react in the same way with oxygen. Okay. Say here we have a very special elements, sodium and potassium. They react violently with air. Okay. Violently means the reaction of sodium and potassium with air is actually dangerous one. Okay. You cannot do it normally at home and all. Right? It has to be done very, very carefully because the reactions are very much dangerous. Why? Because you will observe the formation of fire. They can even catch fire. Okay. They are very much reactive. Among all elements in a periodic table, the elements which are coming in the first group, sodium and potassium, they are highly reactive. Okay. They will react very violently with air and water. Okay. So you cannot control the reaction. You will observe lots of fire also. Clear everybody? So that is the reason sodium and potassium, they won't keep it in open. They will be stored in kerosene. Okay. Remember one point here. Sodium and potassium are kept in kerosene. Okay, kerosene. So whenever you want to store sodium and potassium, we don't use plastic bottles or glass bottles. Okay, so we will coat the bottle with a kerosene, or we will coat the bottle with a wax. We will fill it with the kerosene, and then we will dip sodium and potassium in that. Okay, and if you keep it open into the atmosphere, what will happen? Atmosphere contains oxygen, so these guys can quickly react with oxygen catching fire. The reaction is very much violent in the sense what? Very much dangerous. Okay, so that is the reason we will keep sodium and potassium in kerosene. Okay, so it's a very important question. They'll ask you why sodium and potassium are immersed in kerosene. They'll ask. So what is your answer? It is because these two guys are very much reactive. They quickly and vigorously, violently reacts with air. It's very dangerous. So they are always kept it under kerosene. Okay, fine. And coming to the second point, okay, before going to the second point, they react with oxygen, but the reaction is very much dangerous. Can you be able to predict the products? What do you get? Here you will get sodium oxide, sodium valency 1, oxygen valency 2. So the formula Na2O. And here you will be getting K2O. Okay, and both the guys are actually soluble in water. They are soluble in water. Okay, fine. And now go to the second point. I said aluminium, magnesium, zinc and lead does not easily react because of the protective layer. Okay, I have shown a reaction with magnesium. I have written a reaction with aluminium. Okay, but those reactions does not occur easily. It's slightly difficult. It is because the aluminium piece or a sodium piece, they'll have a protective layer. Okay, the metal will have a thin protective layer, and this protective layer will not allow metal to react further. It may be with oxygen, it may be with water, or it may be with any other chemical compound. Okay, so this layer present on aluminium and magnesium will be protecting them. And this particular protective layer, we will call it as oxide film. We will call it as oxide film. Okay, so what is this oxide film is, say Mg metal, the moment you expose it to oxygen, it will react with little amount of oxygen and MgO layer will be formed. This protective layer, imagine this is Mg. Okay, this protective layer is nothing but MgO layer only. You can ask me a question, ma'am, just now you said it will not quickly react with oxygen, but you have written Mg reacts with oxygen, MgO, and the layer is MgO. Yes, little amount of oxygen reacts with Mg to form MgO. Once that MgO has formed a layer on it, it will not allow further reaction to happen. Okay, more and more Mg, if you want it to react with oxygen, it is not possible, because once that protective layer is formed, the metal will be protected with it. That protective layer will not allow the inner metal to react further. It may be with further oxygen or it may be with water or anything. Okay, so that is the concept here. In case if you want Mg to react further, definitely you should remove that protective layer. Okay, and that protective layer is removed by rubbing with a sandpaper. Clear everybody? Sandpaper is a very rough type of a paper. If you rub it with a sandpaper, that layer will go off. Once the layer goes off, then our magnesium is ready for reaction with any chemical compound. Okay, so try to remember this point. They do react, definitely they react with oxygen, but does not easily react. It is because of this protective layer. Okay, fine. And coming to the last point, Au, which is nothing but gold, Pt means platinum, Ag means silver, does not react at all. Okay, these metals does not react with any chemical substance, not only with oxygen or air. they won't react with water. Okay, they will not react with acids, like concentrated acids they do react, but with dilute acids and all they will not react. Okay, under our environmental condition, at this particular room temperature, these metals does not react with anything. That is the reason they are used as ornamentals. Okay, so if they we wear silver articles and gold articles, imagine if they are reacting with air and all, we don't keep them. Yes or no? We don't use them, right? So if they keep on reacting with oxygen, what will happen is that shine and that color will go off slowly. Then it cannot be used as ornaments. Okay, and later iron does not react, but iron fillings burn in air. Iron fillings in the sense iron pieces, small iron pieces. When you make it into small pieces, it can burn in air. But as a iron rod, like if you are heating it, it will not that easily, like it will not that easily react with oxygen. Okay, so with this we have completed reaction of metal with air or oxygen. So in the next video we will talk about reaction of metals with water. Okay, fine. Thank you everyone.